Hi, everyone. And now I'm a little bit late. I said it'd be earlier, but it just didn't happen. So I hope you guys are doing good. Thanks everybody for showing up last night and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to share my link with a couple people. Ooh, thank you. My hottie got me a light, which I didn't have, and I needed. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm not going to stay on really long. I'm just going to make I'm going to make a few little, I don't know, I'll show you what they are. I'm going to make a few little things because I'm going to have a sale on Sunday. And I do try to, if I can, it doesn't always work out like that, but if I can, I try to put a little thank you into anything anybody buys. And so hang on a second, I'm just posting it in my group. So I hope you guys are all having a good Friday night. We are in our house. It's actually been a really nice day, although it has gotten it's like the temperature's dropping, and it is like when all my daffodils and everything are coming up, and Blake went out and cut all my daffodils because it's supposed to get down to like 11 degrees. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Crazy for me. 11 degrees. Oh no. But they were all coming up and looking really beautiful. So he went and cut them all out. Cut them all and put them in vases. Cut 2 big or 3 big vases full. And it gets down to 11, they'll be dead. And no, that'll be a bummer. So I'm not excited about that. But I had some great news today. Our youngest, part of the reason we left Hawaii, and I don't really talk about it, but part of the reason we left, it was really hard for her. I mean, she'd really only gone to school there and grew up there, but she just didn't have, I don't know, it's probably what other people experience, but it was very difficult. And what's so great is that she's made so many friends since we've gotten here, and she's actually at a sleepover with a friend. So, I mean, that is yeah, we're super happy for her. So that happened for her today. She went for a sleepover. So that was good. Hey, Miss Scotty, how are you, girl? I was thinking about you. Did you get a bunch of snow? Hi, Liz. We're not in Hawaii anymore. We are not, Toto. Okay, girls. I mean, seriously. Hi, Liz. Hi, Scotty. Hi, Connie. Hi, Anne. How are you? Hey, Sharon. You guys, I hate Siri. Siri just... Anyway. So I'm happy to see you guys. So I'm just going to make a few, you got 4 inches today. I mean, I told you my daughter moved to Fort Smith, right? My middle daughter, she moved to Fort Smith, and she planted she's a big gardener, and she was just telling me how crazy cold it's been. And I mean, all of a sudden, and all of her stuff. So Blake went, and when I realized it was going to get down cold here, he went and cut my daffodils down so that I could have some daffodils. I mean, at least enjoy them so the snow doesn't get them. So I'm going to make some little, I'll show you, I don't know, these little Rolodex. I'm going to decorate a little bit of them. And then, so I'm going to have a sale on Sunday hi, Joni. I'm going to have a sale on Sunday around 4 Eastern. And anybody that buys anything, I always try to put a thank you in there. It doesn't always happen. Depends upon if my hottie's helping me. This is some old newspaper. I don't know where I got it, but it's so cool. So I'm cutting it up and going to use it on my little card. But I thought I'd come and craft and chat and hang out with you guys. I haven't hung out on a Friday in so long. Hi, Jean Peter. I'm breaking up for you. Okay, let me see. I'm breaking up. Let's see. Am I breaking up for anybody else? Your daffodils are blooming. You didn't plant. Mine came up. They were just coming up from our yard. Oh, I'm sorry, Ann. You know, Blake is going to deal with I'm plugged directly into the Wi-Fi, so I shouldn't be, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe you have to go out and come back in. I definitely need to deal with getting some better bandwidth or whatever, but I have the maximum you can get as a non-commercial account. So tomorrow, don't forget, from noon to 5, there is the monthly Disabled Artist Foundation auction on Care Heart's channel. Always a great way to give back and a great way to support our community. And yeah, so that's tomorrow. And then Sunday, I'm going to have a little tiny sale, getting rid of a bunch of, liquidating a few things, should I say. I shouldn't say getting rid of a bunch, but liquidating a few things. And I have some cutter quilts and some vintage fabric and just some weird stuff. I have all kinds of weird stuff. That'll be from 4 o'clock on. And then on the 20th, Miss Malia and I are going to have a joint sale. Hi, APG. Hi, Kathy. Your cell phone's buffering. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, daffodils are coming up too. So I said to him when I was reading the weather and it says it's going to get down to 11, I said, all my daffodils. And you guys, he's so sweet. He just went out and he picked them all. And he put them in vases. Do have some vases. I did get, I know I was complaining about the stuff his mother sent me or his mother shared with me or dumped on me or whatever. But you know what? In all honesty, I got some vases. I got some stuff I wouldn't have thought about getting, when you just move. So that's good. My glue's a little gluey to the end of this glue stick. Although, thank you, Miss Ann Lair. She is the sole reason I'm using these Amazon Basics. So I like them. If you guys haven't tried them, I would advise you to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these and then I'm going to cut some sort of fabric and then sew it on here really quick and then just make just gives me like my version of a card to a thank you card. So, hey, Elizabeth. Oh, girl, I loved your video the other day where you were purging. Oh my gosh, Elle, I can totally relate to your purging. I can relate. Elizabeth is moving in the summer to her, what are you calling this? Is this your are you calling it your retirement home? Or are you just calling it I don't know what you're referring to it as, but she's moving. And if you guys haven't gone over to her channel, it's Never Hopeless with Elizabeth. She's purging. Girl, I was watching it the other day and I was like, I can so relate. I can relate. Been there, done that, worn that t-shirt. It is not easy no matter when you do it. No matter when you do it, it is not easy. Wouldn't you guys all agree? Like, it's like purging I could give away my clothes. I could give away my furniture. I've even given away cars before, but come down to my paper, forget it. You wonder if the solar event is helping yeah, Kathy, I don't know. I have no idea. Somebody sent me the coolest picture today, though, from Maui. That was the sun and the moon coming up together. The sun setting and the moon rising. It was beautiful. It was like two big spheres. Almost looked surreal, like it wasn't real, like it was from a Star Trek movie. I don't know where I got this ratty paper, but I have to tell you, I've enjoyed using it. It's obviously old because one of them says The Sunday buffet is $3.84. Since when has the Sunday, and that's at Harbor Light, wherever that was. $3.84. So I've been using it. I have used it in some of my more recent adventures. So I don't know about that solar event. I don't know. Maybe you guys can pipe in. So tomorrow, if you guys are interested in collecting some really cool ephemera and some really cool journals and different things. I wasn't there for the whole walkthrough today or the whole like preview of the auction, but what I was there for was pretty swank, I have to say. So I think whoever decides to go is going to get some really good treasures. I was already kind of like going, okay, I want that. I want that, you know, but I shouldn't be greedy. I kind of don't want to cover up the Holiday Inn, but I guess I put it down too far. Is there a date at the top on the top of that paper? I don't know, Jamie. You know what's kind of cool is I haven't bought too many things since I've been here, but I have gotten a few. Like I bought a I think it says 1983, I think. This one says the Asheville Citizen Times, October 23rd. I think it says 1983. So I told you guys I've gone to a couple of estate sales and I've gotten, Blake and I needed some things. Not a lot of things, but we needed some things. Oh, well, Holiday Inn, you're going to get covered up. I'm so sorry. Maybe I can just put it down here. But then when I put the fabric thing, oh, well, it'll just be what it is. So we went to one sale because I wanted a sewing machine. Because you guys know I got my priorities straight, right? Gotta have a sewing machine. Gotta have a sewing machine. And this lady, she was cleaning out the entire contents of her mother's home. And her mother had just passed away. And she was in her very late 90s, almost 100 years old. So I got a really cool old sewing machine. But she had all kinds of other things that she was just like, I didn't see when she put her original advertisement up for her her estate sale. But so I got there for I was really only there for the sewing machine, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. And she had all kinds of stuff. So I got some really cool stuff that she would have, I think, otherwise thrown away. So I think that this newspaper might have come from some of that was in her house. But I got a really old sewing machine that works fabulous, but it's downstairs. And then I have a tiny one up here. And what else did I get from her? I got a few pots and pans because it was definitely needed. And I got some books. I got these really cool old church lady cookbooks that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just jonesing on these. Not because I needed any cookbooks, but because she told me she was going to throw them away. So I was like, oh, the guilty party in me could not deal with it. So I took her cookbooks. I got some really cool vintage linens. I did get that. I will tell you that. I got some really cool vintage linens. I got some super old baby clothes. The woman that was having the yard sale was in her 70s. I mean, or estate sale or whatever you want to call it. She was in her 70s, but her mom I think she was 98 or 99. But she was like a fifth or generation person who'd lived in that area. So she said some of these baby clothes were probably my mother's, and they're really beautiful, but they're old, like really beautiful hand smocked linen, very thin. Like I think I would be afraid to wash them, but but they were cool. So I got that. I got a bunch of cool stuff. Hi, Dot. Hi, Dee. How are you? You guys, Diana sent me all of these heirloom seeds. So I am like, as soon as the frost goes, I'm not obviously not planting it now. But when the frost goes, I'm gonna plant them. I'm gonna plant my yard. I'm super excited. Tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm super excited about that. So thank you, Miss Diana, for your contribution to my new life. I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. So what I'm going to do with these is I'll make a few more, and then I'm going to take them to the sewing machine right next to me. And I'm going to sew some fabric down so that when I write my little thank yous, I'll put them on the back of the card. And then, I don't know, you guys know, like if you sew anything or you do anything with anybody you want, and you can put it in a journal. You can put it in a scrapbook. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to keep some formal card that you are like, oh my gosh, why do I have that? So I found these old Rolodex cards. They're little tiny ones, but I like them a lot. And I don't know. I guess because somebody bought something from my Etsy shop from the past couple of days. And I went and I couldn't find any paper. I was like, where are the cards and stuff that I have? Where's the stuff that I have to write thank you cards? Well, I couldn't find it. So this is what it ended up being. Because I'm not settled, you guys. Hey, Miss Leslie, how are you? She's moving to an island on an island near Stuart, Florida. Oh, nice. About 45. Your aunt says she's like 45 minutes from Stuart. Yesterday, there was a bunch of people here that were from Florida. How many were here from Florida yesterday? There was a lot of you. It's cool. Hey, Renee. How are you, girl? So tell us about your house, Elle. We want to hear about your house. Okay, what did I see today that I was like, I need to have that? So Donna Little made, I'm talking back about, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little ADD. Talking back about the Defy auction. Donna Little made this journaling pack or journaling kit, or I don't know what you want to call it. It was pretty amazing. I've been thinking about it all day. Like I need anything else. Okay. Guys, you know I don't, but it's all good. Thought I had one more glue stick on my desk. I hope I do that has glue in it. Otherwise, I'm going to be digging the glue out. Your internet's playing up. It might be mine, Elle. It could totally be mine. Yesterday, even though we don't have any, we don't have a teenager. She has friends. She went for a sleepover. We were so excited. Usually I could blame it on her, but there's nothing on. So my hottie said tomorrow he's going to call whoever our internet provider is here. Who's our internet provider? Spectrum. Guys, I have a love-hate relationship with them. Do any of you guys have that, or is it just me? Is it just me that has a love-hate relationship with Spectrum? I find their customer service is just so wank. Oh, you know what happened, you guys? Okay, so how many of you guys a couple of years ago bought into the Regal Cinemas Unlimited Cinema thing? So we bought it. I guess it was in 2019. And we bought it for our kids. We bought ourselves a pass, whatever, but it was expensive. It was like $200 a person, but it was unlimited movies for the year. And out of the, 5 or 6 passes that we bought, only one of my daughters was able to use it. And then the pandemic hit. So and then I think we tried to even get them to give us like a refund or something because we just bought it in like December or January. And then the pandemic, or we were closed down in March. You guys, so I'm not one for like really looking at my bills. I know it's a terrible thing, but I'm not one for like really sitting there looking at all the, all the charges. But I see this like charge and I get an email that says, thank you for your payment to Regal Cinemas. And I thought, I haven't gone to Regal Cinemas. I don't even know if there's one in my area. I mean, there was one in Hawaii, and that's why we bought it. Well, they had charged, and I guess they tried to charge Blake because he had bought some of them for the kids, and I bought some of them for the kids. They had charged my credit card as if I had authorized them to. I didn't. I mean, I bought it as the one-time thing in that one December or whatever, but I certainly didn't authorize them 2 years later to like put through a charge on my credit card. And so then I tried to call them to cancel it, and they conveniently have this sort of like, I don't even know if it's like an automated system that won't even like answer you or do anything. And I was like, oh no, this is so bogus. So, and I called my credit card company, which happened to be Chase. And I said, and they were like, well, those charges were only pending. This was a few days ago. So finally the charges went through. And then one of my kids, the one I told you that moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas, she called me and she goes, Mom, please don't renew that. We don't have a Regal Cinema in Fort Smith. So I was like, I didn't renew it. I don't know what happened. I said, I didn't authorize them to. They just did it on their own. And I sent them an email. I mean, I tried to call them, but the phone thing didn't work. And I sent them an email. And I didn't hear anything back or whatever. So I called Chase today and I said, can you please, first of all, I didn't order this. Can you please dispute it? And the other thing is, can you please send me a new credit card? I said, this is incredibly disheartening for me. I said, I didn't do this. Like, I didn't authorize them 2 years after an event to charge my credit card. And they were really helpful. And they were like, okay, we'll do it or whatever. They were super helpful about it. And then Chase is like, we'll reach out to them. I said, I've already reached out to them. I said, I tried to call them. I tried to do all this stuff. They didn't even answer. And she's like, well, we'll reach out to them. Do you know, after Chase reached out to them, they sent me an email saying, we are canceling your order. We're sorry for the inconvenience. I was like, what? And I said to Blake, I said, I know it's not a lot of money because, when we first bought it, it was like $200 a subscription, which is kind of expensive. But when you think about it as a Christmas gift, somebody can use all the time. It's not really, but, and so, but they didn't charge it $200 a time. This time they were just doing it like $20 of membership. So $20 a month per membership. And I just said to him, how can they get away with that? Like, how do they not get like some sort of like, this is a scam kind of thing, have it happen. So look at your credit cards, ladies, because I don't always look at mine. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. Is anybody else having internet issues, or is it could be just me? Yes, Rosemary is in Fort Smith. You have Comcast and it's horrible. You have to get fiber optics where you are because you live in the boonies. Well, we don't really live in the boonies, but I'm telling you, I don't know. I can't even tell you. I have no way of making it better. I mean, I'm plugged in. It looks like my band, from what I can see, my bandwidth is good, but I don't know. So now I'm going to sew these little bad boys for my little thank you cards. I can't, you guys, I'm like, we decided we would call tomorrow and try to do it. We try to deal with the, with Spectrum tomorrow. Today was spent, because just doing life stuff. You know how life just sometimes just gets in the way. I was stuck doing life stuff. Like stuff that you dread doing, but you have to do it. Paying your bills and taking your kids to things. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew little hearts, I think. I don't know if they're all going to be hearts, but right now they're hearts. You're right. They do count on those who don't check their bills. That's exactly what Blake said. He said, they just count on like the thousands of people that just don't even notice that. And you guys, normally I would not have noticed it, but I was looking to see if like something had gone through because we've changed all of our, because we moved, we changed all of our stuff, all of our addresses and stuff. And you know how sometimes things just fall through the cracks. And I was checking on something specific that I was looking for. And so I'm going to sew these in just a second. I'm going to cut out these little hearts from this funky fabric that I got and then put them wherever and then sew them down on my little cards. And then I'll write thank you things on the back of them. I dread to think of how many things I've been charged for that I didn't know I was charged for. I mean, how many of you guys have had that happen? I'm sure we all have, and we don't even know it. So tell me what you guys are working on. I want to hear what you're working on. I want to hear, I want to see what you guys are working on. Making a couple of really cool junk journals for myself for no reason at all. Guys, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed in the moving, getting settled, unpacking. It's a little bit weird because the stuff I'm unpacking really isn't my stuff. It's like stuff that we've gotten from Blake's family. So it's a little weird. You know what I mean? And fun. I mean, fun from the aspect of like, oh, well, I didn't buy that, but it's a little weird too. So I got 4 done so far. Guys, I think this is like my new favorite way of like making thank you cards. I know it's kind of cheesy because it's not like a really big card, but nobody has to feel obligated to keep it. How many of you guys feel obligated to keep thank you cards you get? And you're just like, oh my gosh. You're working on a glue book and you don't have to think about it. Hi, Val. You've been working on nothing. Elizabeth, you're moving. I mean, girl, that is enough. You're purging. I was so proud of you. You know what? Some of those books you're purging, I was like, oh, I totally know. It's like, you're like, I'm never going to use this, but I don't really want to let it go. I can relate to that. Well, you know what it is, Leslie, is I don't know where somewhere in my stuff, I have actual thank you cards. I actually have actual like vintage old thank you cards with envelopes. But girl, can I tell you? I don't know where. And then we got here and Blake's like, some of this, you guys, we were so overwhelmed toward the end of our tenure in Hawaii that, and knowing that Blake was going to go back for a project, we just put a ton of stuff in storage. And Blake's like, that stuff could be in storage. And I didn't keep a lot of stuff, but I did keep like some painty papers, some handmade paper that I had made. I kept some handmade cards, that I had made or bought from somebody else, like where the paper salmon. I did not get here with it. I have no idea where it is. So I figure anybody that buys anything for my sale on Sunday or for my little Etsy shop, these are my thank you cards until I run out of these I have a whole another pack of these. I got them I think I might have got them from that old lady's yard sale or the end of her estate sale. I got like weird stuff she had left. She had these vintage baby clothes. I did get I get some vintage linens from her. I got old clothespins and just weird stuff. I got some kitchen stuff that I needed. I mean, some of it is super vintage, but I'll use it, I don't know. I got like weird things. But I got the sewing machine, which was my whole goal. And it works really well. Hey, Sage, how are you? How are you, girl? Sage is having a sleepover with her friend Ace. What are you doing on the phone? Aren't you girls having fun? Aren't you thems having fun? So tomorrow's supposed to be like 11 degrees. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when it gets to with this 11 degrees. Anybody else want to pipe in with this 11 degrees? It's 11 degrees. Like, what in the world? 11 degrees. Hi, Miss Charlene. Oh, girls, I've missed you on Fridays. I have missed you, missed you, missed you. You know what I did get? I got it from somebody, people, it's like it's so night and day from like being here than Hawaii. Um, Somebody was getting rid of this cast iron, and it was brand new cast iron, like thing that you put in the oven that has a cast iron lid. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been cooking in that and I have been just loving it. I have been cooking in it. It's been amazing. Yeah, used to the bipolar weather, Idaho girls. Hi, Dorinda. You don't want your opinion on the cold day. Oh, girls, I've been sleeping in a sweater. Okay. You have negative temps, so you don't want to hear about it. You don't want me to hear me whine about 11. Aw, you're doing amazing and you're laughing so hard. A Dutch oven. Yes, APG. A Dutch oven. Okay, so I got this old-fashioned Dutch oven. It looks like one that could have come from like a cowboy movie, you know? Like one of the where the cowboy, where the old cook is like has no teeth and he cooks for everybody. But you guys, I have made some. I think they've been amazing. I don't know, but I am enjoying them. I've had some really, really good. I made like some really good stews in it. I've made this sort of keto, my version of a keto stew, which is like cabbage and spicy sausage and whatever, and onions and celery, cooking it in that. And I was like, oh, you guys have to understand, like in Hawaii, it's so hot. You don't, and where I lived on the island, toward the end of the day, the sun set over where we lived. So it was hot, like really hot. So you wouldn't really do major cooking over there. Or if you did, you cook in an Instapot. You wouldn't cook in an oven. So yeah, we want you to you're doing homework, but you can stop laughing so hard. We're glad you're having fun. I think we're getting snow, Malia. I don't want to say it out loud, but I guess I just did. Yes. There is a it showed in the forecast a few snowflakes. If it's 11, it is. So I may Seisha made Buddha. I asked Buddha to go pick all the flowers from our yard. So they're in vases. It looks like he went to the florist and bought me daffodils. It is some serious, it is some serious, um, it's some serious daffodiling going on. So you guys get out your Rolodex cards and your scraps, your painty papers and your scraps and your bits and pieces. Laughing is good for homework. I agree with you, Jamie. They don't have school on Fridays. They only go Monday through Thursday. So that's a good thing. And are you and Ace having fun? I'm glad. She has some friends and some good times. It's so good. We're so happy. Ohio is 21 tomorrow. So I beat you. It's not a competition. This is not a competition. Oh my gosh. I don't know. You guys, all I know is Blake went and got us water because we have like a little water thing. We have water. I've got coffee. We have gas stove, so if something happens and the electric goes out, we don't have to worry about it. And I got coffee. Girls, coffee for me. If I got some coffee, I'm good. Coffee and me, we're totally good. Gotta have some coffee. How did your shooting thing go, Val? Val went to the shooting. Did you go to the shooting range today? What kind of gun do you shoot? Val was out shooting at the gun range, okay? You can't stop laughing. Hey, laughing is a good thing, girl. Laughing is a good thing. So let's see. What else can I tell you guys? I don't know. It's just taking us longer than I thought to get our stuff together. Your high is in the upper 80s tomorrow? Oh my gosh. You went to the shooting range and you did better than you ever have? But I'm happy for you. Zeus is pimping. Hello, Rosa. How are you? You shot your 22? Oh, good for you, Val. Guys, I grew up in Texas. My dad made us all learn how to shoot. I won't say that I was like that was my favorite thing because guys, even as a young age, I just couldn't do it, you know. But he made us all learn how because we had guns in our house, and his whole thing was, you got guns, you got to know how to use them. So, but you guys, I'm from Texas, so you get that, right? You understand. Okay, I got tons of hearts. I got some pieces on there. You found another gun that you want? Oh my gosh. I know, right, Leslie? Go Val. Go Val. Go Val. Elizabeth, have you packed your major things or are you waiting till when is your final move date? I mean, I know you guys are doing it in stages, but when's your final like I'm moving date? I don't know how loud my sewing machine is. It might be really loud. You made your daughter go to a safety class, even though she's not interested in shooting. Hey, it's worth it. Malia, I think you and I are kindred spirits. You haven't packed a thing? Oh my gosh, Val. Well, I say get rid of as much as you can. I mean, not that I did. I don't know. I don't think, even if you're the most prepared person, I still think it's stressful. All right, let's see how this comes out. Let's see how my how my sewing comes out. It may not come out good at all. I sewed some earlier because I mailed them out, but I'll show you guys. Just give me a second. Okay. You guys, I have to sew with whatever thread I could find, and unfortunately it was green. So that's what I'm sewing with. I didn't have, guys, I don't know where my stuff is. And honestly, I don't even know if I got here with it. That's the really sad thing is like, I'm looking for it and I'm like, did I even bring it? Like, is that just like a figment of my imagination that I thought I brought it? Which it could very well be a figment of my imagination. At the rate I'm going, girls, one never knows. One never knows. I'll sew a few of them and I'll show them to you. If I run out of thread, then I'll have to like find some more thread. So here's one, so you can kind of see. I'll hold them up to the camera in just a second. So this is my idea of a thank you card, okay? I'm sure you guys will make fancier ones than me. I'm sure yours will be way fancier than mine. Okay, where did my little green? Guys, I don't even have a full spool of thread. I don't have like a bobbin of thread. So I'm like trying to do it with a bobbin, which is like even worse. It's like the bobbin of thread is not the ideal. Bobbin of thread is not the ideal. But I'll show you in just a minute. And then you guys can see my sewing. Okay, let's see, how many do I have here? How many have I done so far? I've done 3. Okay, let's see. So my desk is a little messy, but you can see that's one. Here, let me cut these apart. You can sew them in a row like a quilt. you know, like a quilt square. Here's 2. Here's 3. Is most slightly frustrating? Oh, girl, I'm so sorry. You have no real final date. Your daughter and her boyfriend are supposed to be getting married and buying your house, but no ring and no definite buying going on. Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. It was as clear as bed. Yeah, they are kind of cute, but I mean, it just kind of gives you an idea. Like that's just a bunch of scraps, right? But you could put it together and make like you can make all kinds of like little bits and pieces. I mean, all of these. I mean, they'll all be a little bit different, and they're all one of a kind. So, oh, girl, I don't even know what to tell you. Our kids, I don't. Yeah, the kid thing can be so frustrating in itself that it add the buying of the house and the marriage and all that thing on top of it. It's like I don't know. I mean, I get it. I understand. I understand what you're going through. Well, I guess if you don't have any really definitive date, then I guess there's no rush. But I know that kind of puts you in sort of a perplexing situation of just sitting around or what feels like sitting around and waiting, right? I mean, even though you may not be sitting around, even though you may not be physically sitting around and waiting, you're waiting on them. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I have no idea about anything anymore. I mean, I would think they kind of want to hurry because the interest rates are supposedly supposed to go to some crazy high, right? Am I wrong? Did you guys hear that? That this whole thing and the cost of inflation, the interest rates are supposed to get like, I don't know. I got something from our mortgage broker about it. I mean, we just bought a house, so obviously we're not looking to refinance anything, but I guess they're sending it out to people that are like, you know, longtime homeowners or first time home buyers trying to get you to lock in a rate before it goes crazy. I mean, I don't know. This is not my new sewing machine up here. This is my friend's sewing machine that I borrowed, and it works, but it makes some crazy noises. She loaned it to me until I got my own, and I got a good one. But mine comes in a one of those sewing. What do you call it? It's like not a sewing table. What is it called? Like a. Yeah, I guess it's called sewing table. I guess it is like a sewing table. So mine comes in like a sewing table, and I don't know where I'm going to put it. Like I've got plenty of room. Don't get me wrong. I have plenty of room in my house. I just haven't. It's quite heavy, and I kind of wanted to be a little bit more settled in, which I'm not. Guys, I'm not settled in at all. I don't remember where anything goes. So that one I sewed that way because there was 2 hearts on it. Oh, you're putting your house up for sale in May, whether they buy it or not. Girl, that in itself, have the house selling thing. I don't know. Who was I talking to the other day that was in the process of selling their house, and she was just talking to me about, you know, all the stuff about like showing and staging and getting rid of things that, you know how it goes. They're like, get rid of this, get rid of that. It's cheaper to insure your house and your car. Yes, I can use the negative space of the hearts, Jamie. You're absolutely right. Well, here's some so far. I mean, they're all a little bit different. They just have like little weird pieces of old newspaper and painty papers and hearts. I mean, I could have cut out more interesting shapes, but I like hearts. Guys, I'm a heart person, so I like hearts. So I'm going to glue a little bit more, and then I'm going to find some more thread. Guys, my thread, girls, it's first world problems. Gluing, making thank you cards. This is first world problems. At this point, hey, you know what though, Elizabeth? I think if you ask Val and myself and anybody that's moved recently, we have all felt exactly the way you're feeling. It's like you get to a point where you're so overwhelmed, you're just like, throw it away or strike a match. I get it. I totally get it, And I think, yeah, we all got that way. I mean, that's why that's why toward the end or some of our stuff ended up in storage, because it was like we needed to be done, and it was just taking us so long. And so right before we left, instead of just throwing it all away, we just put some of it in storage, and Blake had to go back anyway. So that's what we did. That's not the best answer, though. Definitely not the best answer. All right. Your kids are in bed finally? Oh, good for you, girl. Oh, Elle, I'm so sorry. If you were here last night or you listened to my ramble, you heard my whole take on kids and finances and choices. So, I just am like, it's, you just can't even get to a point where I get it. The really sad thing is that, oh, look, a little baby spider. The really sad thing is that your house, I'm sure, is amazing. And you guys are willing to like not even put it on the market and let them shop around and get a mortgage and, have this house at a price that you guys agree on instead of getting into a bidding war. Unfortunately, right now, because of this threat of like the housing market going crazy, even more than it already has been, and the mortgage rates going up, people are getting insane. They're just like acting out and doing some crazy stuff. And you're just like, okay. You're like, that's a little rough. Your neighbors came over. So bedtime ended up being like, oh, but it's nice that your neighbors came over. Okay, Val said. Oh, wow. Hal, that's awesome. So your thing is if your daughter, you were planning on giving her your furniture then, right? Am I wrong? That was my assumption? That is like a deal, girl. I wish you were my mom. I think we all wish we were your, because I know your taste is impeccable. So, man, it would be like, whoa, what? We get this amazing house and what? That would have been so good. Oh my gosh, what is this? The whole house. Oh my gosh. Elle, that's so awesome. Hello, Dr. Student Kashmiri, UK. You found a thrift store and you got a bunch of stuff for crafting and reading for $16. Oh, wow. A Faber-Castell mixed media kit? Ooh, good for you. Oh, Elizabeth, girl, I don't know. Maybe you need to sit down and have a come to Jesus talk with your daughter and her beau and say, you guys are missing out on a good thing. So can you still sell it? Can you still sell it furnished even if you don't sell it to your daughter? I mean, if your daughter doesn't decide to take it, which would seem silly. Thrift store benefits for special needs adults. Aw, that's awesome. Val, where I am, it's like thrift store heaven. I'm sure it's that way where everybody is. I guess we're just used to Hawaii where it's not thrift store heaven. Oh, you guys, it says October 1982. You guys, that was the year I graduated from high school. This paper was when I graduated from high school 40 years ago. You have for the last 6 months, and you'll sell it furnished. Girl, Yeah. Well, I hope she suddenly has like a moment and she just does it. Can she afford to buy it on her own? Or does she need him to buy it with her in order to afford it? Because if she can afford to do it on her own, I'd be like, girl, you need to like do this. Bye, Sharon. You leaving? I'm sorry I didn't see you come in. I'm glad you came. They're at least 15 in a 5-mile radius of where you live out. Oh, good. Good for you. There's a lot of them here. There are a ton. Blake and I were talking about what our favorite ones are so far. Our favorite ones are the ones that are not affiliated, like with the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. Like they've got like one that was like, we have one not far from us. It's like a Christian Ministries, goes for like an orphanage. And it's pretty, it's super cool. And then we have one that we were talking about that there's one that does this battered women's shelter type of thrift store. And they have some cool stuff we were like talking about today. One of them I got an Instapot for like a brand new Instapot, a really big one for like $30. It's brand new in the box. And then one, I've gotten all kinds of stuff. One was the brand new Instapot in the box. One was, I got all this, like, I got a couple of cool books, and I got some dish towels, really nice dish towels. And then, I don't know, there's like so many different ones, but like we've gone to like the Salvation Army ones, and they're fine, don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as the other ones. The ones that are affiliated with just a small charity and not one that's affiliated with a big charity. We have a bin store here, and I have to tell you, it is a trip, Kathy. I had never experienced it until I went to, you guys look at the newspaper on my hands. I had never experienced it till I went to Vegas. When I went to Vegas to visit my sister, she lives right down the street from a bin store, but I didn't even know what a bin store was. Guys, living in Hawaii was wonderful and also sheltering. Wonderful and sheltering. So we went to the bin store, and I'm telling you, in Vegas, oh, they do not, there's no playing around. They are not playing around with you at all. It is like some serious, like they had a family that was like lined up, and they were like tossing shoes one to the other, to the other, to the other, like you would like a sandbag toss. It was crazy. We were like in marvel. Both Blake and I were like, whoa, this is like some serious thrifting. And then the one here is not quite as rigorous, but you know what? I had people steal stuff out of my cart. You guys, I'm not even looking for the stuff they're looking for. You guys, I'm buying the stuff that should end up in the trash, like the ratty vintage linens and the, that kind of thing. I'm not buying like the good stuff that, or whatever, that, you know what I mean. Blake says I have a whole different take on it. I'm like buying the torn up books and the things that are like would normally get thrown out. But there's some serious people at those bins. You know what? I tried to take a video of the one in Vegas, Diana, but I actually was intimidated. I'm telling you, all of a sudden, these people start lining up, and you're just like, you're kind of like looking through a bin. Of course, I was looking at books, which is not anything really anybody else was looking at, but I was looking at books. And they were like lining up, and all of a sudden I looked up, I'm like, oh my God, are we even going to be able to get out of here? They like line up like they're in a, like in a straight line, like, like shoulder to shoulder. And I was like, what are they doing? And then somebody said, oh, well, they're waiting for them to wheel out the next bins. And then they'll tell them, they'll give them a go signal. And then everybody girls, it was like way out of my league. I was like, oh no. Oh no, it was way out of my shopping league. I've been living in the tropics for too long. I've been way out of the shopping league. I like the Kathy, I like the bin stores, but I'm just saying in Vegas, it was like no freaking joke. They were like, uh-huh. They were like, mm-hmm. They did it like in packs. It was kind of like it was a little bit frightening actually. They kind of did it like sort of like 5 or 6 people would go together and they'd be looking for whatever they were looking for. And I can't even tell you what it was because it wasn't stuff I was looking for, but here's some seriousness, that's for sure. It was some seriousness. We were like, Blake was like, whoa, this is like, I said, this is way out of my league. I said, way out of my league. I said, I was like, woof. Come to Dayton, Ohio. Is it good like that too? Your books are in a separate space? Hey, Barb. Barb, your live was great today. I got to listen to the whole thing. I didn't get to participate 100%, but I got to listen, and I thought it was awesome. Awesome. You did great today, girl. Lots of love to you. Diana, all I can tell you is that I never really even knew anything about the bins until Vegas. And I thought we were just going to a regular Las Vegas. My sister's like, oh, there's a Salvation Army not that far, or a Goodwill not that far down the street from us. I was like, oh, cool. It was some, They were like so serious. You were like, okay. You know when you have game and you know when your game is not up. Mine was so not up. I was like, yikes. It was frightening. Guys, my poor glue sticks are down at the very end. At least I have some. At least I have glue sticks. Okay, I shouldn't be complaining. I have a whole bunch of them. I just don't know where they are. You went to the north. You went to one on north of Fort Smith. That was not good. So, do you live in Arkansas too? Where do you live, Kathy? Where do you live? Yeah, my middle daughter moved to Fort Smith. Maybe she's lived in there about 1.5 years now. They didn't have any carts or bags. Oh, well, they let you, if you don't get the one that we have here, that's not far from us, you got to get there like, or you don't get a cart. It's a whole thing. It's like, I didn't even know. You guys, it's a whole culture that I had no idea about. It was it's a whole shizzle that you're like, seriously? And they are serious. There is some serious shizzle going on there. And you're just like, gotta just stay out of the way. Dallas, Fort Worth area. Awesome. That's right. You told me that before. I'm sorry, girl. Guys, my mind is not. I used to. People could tell me one time in my past where they were from and I would get it. Now, girls, I don't know. I turned another year older and my mind is not as sharp as it used to be. Or put it this way, I have so much on my mind, I can't remember some things. But yeah, I don't think I realized how, I don't know. Did you guys all know about this whole bins thing? Like, I didn't know about it. How many of you guys knew about it? I didn't even know about it. In fact, I was like, to my sister, I was like, whoa. I was like, have you gone in there? She goes, yeah, it's a little rough. In Bedford. No carts at all. Well, they have one. Okay, so the one near us, there's a retail store right next to it, and they'll let you go get carts if certain carts are available over there, but usually there's not any over there either. But you can bring bags, or you can go to the cashier and get a bag. But there are these plastic bags, you guys, that if you put too much stuff in it, the whole bag breaks. Yeah, I'm from Texas. I am originally from Texas. I'm from the Galveston, Houston area. And if APG is still here, she's from Texas too. So for those of you that just came in, I'm making my little thank you cards. Okay. These are my little thank you cards that I'm writing to anybody that buys anything from my sale on Sunday or from my Etsy shop, because I can't find my cards. But I figure, you know what? You don't feel obligated to keep this, or you can stick it in a journal. I'll write on the back. Okay. Sewed it, glued it, little mixed media fabric. You got the whole glue on me. I got glue all over me. Yeah, those are called Goodwill outlets. You're scared to go? I have to tell you, I had no idea. You guys, I think I've lived so sheltered. Like in Maui, we had a Goodwill, but it was very like small. We had a Salvation Army. We had a Boys and Girls Club one. We had a Savers, but then there was like a few up country that were like, like, I don't know, just like little private thrift store kind of things, like where they from a school or a church or that sort of thing, but very small, not anything like you're used to. The bins are they're like serious. It's like a serious whole thing. I mean, it's like, yep, it's serious. Yeah, there are a lot of people from Texas. You've been in Houston almost your whole life? Oh, Leslie, where do you live in Houston? I should know, but I don't know off the top of my head. You were terrified the first time you went? Well, the first time I went was was right after we moved, and I was like, I don't know if I have the competitive edge to like jump in there to get some torn up book. I was like, this is some serious scary shizzle. I was like, I don't know. And both Blake and I, when we left there, I was like, that was so serious. Like they were so competitive. We were both like, what? Katie, but you grew up in Sugar Land. I grew up in Texas City. Okay. You must know where that is. I was born in Galveston, and my mom's family's from Galveston. I grew up in Texas City. And Texas City and Dickinson. My mom's parents moved from Galveston to Dickinson. So my grandfather was an engineer for American Oil. Can you believe that? So because you know that area. So I didn't graduate from school in Texas City. I ended up in Brownsville. My mom, my sophomore year in high school, she had bought interest in a business in Mexico, and we moved to Brownsville my sophomore year. But I was born and raised in that area, and all my family's in that area. Most of them are still there. I think the only ones that aren't are me and my sister. But I have aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews, and they all live in that area. Although some of them have moved. Part of my family worked in the oil industry, and they moved to Odessa, which is kind of near where Jean lives, not far from her. So I have family that live in Odessa, family that live in Dickinson, some that live in Galveston. I don't have any more that live in Texas City. Some that live in Houston, some live in East Texas, some live in Beaumont, Livingston. Let's see, that area. And then I have a couple of sisters that they moved to Louisiana. So my family is all from that area. Isn't that funny? Come all the way to YouTube and find somebody that's like right from where you live. Your husband's family's from Lamarck? Oh, Leslie. What school did he go to? You have to tell me his name. You can text it to me later. I bet you I know him. I don't know. I might be older than you, so I might not. But I might know his siblings. Isn't that funny? It's so funny how small this universe really is. It is small. It looks like the one in Phoenix is called the Goodwill Clearance Center. You were born in Dallas, but you're a Navy brat. It is a small world. APG Jamie's not from. She lives in Texas, near where we're from. APG Jamie. You guys should go over and check her channel out. You'd love it. I love her. She is so fun. Let's see, who else? There's lots of people from Texas. Texas is a big state, though. All your exes live in Texas, specifically Beaumont and Orange. Oh, my God. I love APG Jamie. I can't believe, Liz, you even know the town of Orange. Oh, my gosh. Guys, my dad was born around there. I think he was born in a little town called Buna, which is near Orange. Oh, my gosh, you guys. We're small town girls. We are small town girls. So tell me what's on your crafty wish list for 2022. I have a plethora of UFOs, unfinished objects that I haven't done. You lived in, yeah, the Balsa used to send her all her exes to Texas. I have several quilting projects on my list to do. I definitely have some junk journaling to finish. Like I have many that I've started. How many of you are like that? Like you take the book apart, you've got like the perfect cover, or you've made the cover, or you've painted and remade the cover, right? And you're like, oh, I can't wait to do this. And then you've like reinforced the spine, you've picked out all your stuff, you have it all together, and then it sits right there on the shelf. Yes, she does. Susan does live close to there. She totally does. I put too much glue on some of it, but that's okay because I'm going to put some painting papers over it. You just want to get back to normal pre-work? I don't even know how to do that, Elle. I don't know how to do that at all. You want to work on the Graphic 45Bs collection? I love Graphic 45 paper. I like it so much and it's so nice that I sometimes don't want to use it. How many of you guys are like that, where you find like a scrapbook page and paper and you're just like, I love this. I'm not going to use it. You have a lot of unfinished projects? Well, I'm working on, I do have like several. I can't even say one. It's probably more like in the dozens where I've, taken the book apart, either painted the cover or done something to the cover, reinforced the spine, picked out my entire page, paper packet in there, and then folded it up and it's in like in a folder. I have that. I have tons of that. I feel like you're calling you out there. No, I'm not calling you out. I love Graphic 45 paper. I have Graphic 45 paper. In fact, in my last sale or before I left Maui, I sold a ton of my Graphic 45 paper. It is so beautiful. Like you see me, I'm crafting with trash. Okay. I get intimidated by it. I don't even know what to do. You want to crochet again? Oh, I love to crochet too. I've been wanting to make this granny square quilt granny square couch blanket for a long time. Actually collected the yarn for it. Haven't started it. Elizabeth, I can relate. Crocheting is so relaxing. I can't knit though, you guys. My mom really desperately tried to teach me to knit. I was a failed knitter. I was a failed knitter. Failed knitting. Failed knitting 101. So for those of you that want to come by Sunday, I'll be here on Sunday around 4. I've got all kinds of ridiculousness, so you guys can some cool stuff. I have some. I told you guys that I bought a. Well, I didn't buy it. It was actually given to me a rug loom. When I went to look at the rug loom, they were letting go of a bunch of stuff that I did buy from them, and just collecting stuff for myself. You can't crochet anymore due to your broken arm. Oh no. You have a few patterns. I love you, D. I can't knit. I don't know what it is about knitting. I've tried. Your craft is collecting supplies, Val. I think we're twins separated at birth. Okay. Yeah. It was like me when I went to the lady's house to get the sewing machine. She was like, I don't even know. We were talking about things. And I said, oh, how long have you lived in this house? She said, well, I have lived in this house for she's 70 something. She goes for 6. She said, my parents were married and moved in here. My mom lived in here 72 years. It was an amazing house, I have to say. And they were farmers. And then she said, but my mom grew up right next door. My grandpa has the farm next door, or grandparents had the farm next door. I didn't even ask her who was living in that farm. She had all this stuff. And she's like, I have, I don't know, 5 or 6 brothers and sisters. And she was in her 70s. She was like, none of them want any of this. So I foolishly said the wrong thing. What are you going to do with it? She says, oh, just throw it out. And I was like, oh, like, seriously? So I got all this stuff that I wasn't planning on getting, but I love. Gone through and kept a handful of it because, girls, you can't keep it all. So I'll share some of it with you on Sunday. But don't forget about the Disabled Artist Foundation auction tomorrow. It will be a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, Donna Little gave the coolest junk journaling kit that I do not need, but covet. There's so many cool things that people donated, and kits and supplies, and it was really cool. You can knit. You can knit as a circular loom of hats. Hey, more than me, I can't knit. Oh, Joni, I'm so sorry about your arm, girl. I'm so sorry about your arm. So, Elizabeth, when is your final date? You said you're going to sell your house in May no matter what. So then what are you going to do? You're just going to you're going to put the house on the market in May, and it won't last. You guys' houses are just going, they're like crazy wildfire everywhere. And I don't know whether it's because the interest rate is still good, or because people can work from home now, or more frequently, people's jobs are allowing them to work from home. So there's less of a, people are saying, oh, I've always wanted to live in Florida, or I've always wanted to live in Asheville, like where we're living, or I've always wanted to live in Hawaii, which is why the prices have gone skyrocketed. You'll be going no matter what. Especially the single story houses, they're going. Well, mine's 3 floors. So girls, I didn't even try to buy a single story house. It's kind of funny, and I never really noticed it so much, but the houses here are much different. Like I think this was just mostly people's weekend getaway at some point, if they live some other places, because they're tiny, tiny, like what you would expect like a vacation home to be, a vacation home from a long time ago to be, like tinier than Hawaii homes, which is saying a lot. And they're like little cabins in the mountains. I mean, they're cool, but I was not looking to, I needed some more space than I had. So we're happy with what we got. But I have to tell you, if I had I couldn't have gotten into a bidding war over it. I just wouldn't have. It just would not have worked. You have way too much stuff, Kathy. Join the club, Kathy. Kathy, you're here for a reason. We all have the same problem. Except if you're Miss Ann Lair. Have you ever seen her craft room, you guys? It's the neatest, most fastidious craft space possible. Beautiful. She got herself one of those. Guys, what is the crafting cabinet called? You know what I'm talking about. The crafting cabinet that we all see and go, ooh, ah. Where you can fold it all up and put it in. And she's got hers like perfectly coiffed. I'm a little jealous because even if I tried my hardest, it wouldn't be that way for me. just wouldn't. That's just not my. Oh, Elle, that's so awesome. Girl, I'm not debt free. Buying this house, I'm not debt free. But you know what? We were both talking about it. It won't take us very long to pay it off, even though it was like a whole lot. It was, I mean, it's not a lot compared to most people's homes, but it was more than we were anticipating on spending. But we both were talking about it today. We were like, we are just going to be working to like just try to pay this house off in a very short period of time so that we can just be debt free. You have those coveted craft cabinets, only if you had room for them. Oh, well, if you guys ever go over to Anne's channel, she's got a beautiful crafting setup. It is really quite amazing. And she live streams, and Anne and I've live streamed together. Maybe we'll do it again soon, because I just haven't even been able to get it together to like do anything consistently. It's just been a real chore, because I don't really know. I don't really have like I don't know. It's getting better though. I'm going to try to do Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Those are going to be my days. I'm going to try to do Tuesday, Fridays, and Sundays. Tuesday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday midday, or whenever I can get it together. I'm going to try. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's my goal. So I just got to get some painty papers now. Guys, I'm using this beautiful book. I'll show it to you where I'm pulling the painty papers from. Our lovely crafting friend Tracy from Ginger Beach Studio sent it to me a couple of years ago, and I have coveted it, and I only use it on my favorite things. So these are the ones I've sewed, and then I've got a whole pile I have to sew. And then these need hearts. So these need hearts. I've got, or whatever, fabric bits. Okay, these are done. These need hearts. Okay, these are finished. Those need hearts, and these need painting papers. Let me show you guys this book I have. It is super cool. She called it you guys, I don't know what she called it. I can't remember. She called it I don't know. I'll show it to you. I've been pulling papers from it. It's one of my favorite things to use, but I use it sparingly. Hang on a second. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to grab something to wash my hands. Did you bring the dog up here with you too? Oh, the dog's right there. You guys are too funny. Did you lock everything up downstairs? What? I'm asking you. I'm just washing my hands really quick before I finish live streaming. Guys are so funny. My hottie, he's stretched out with the dog. I was like, kind of took me off by surprise. This was her, guys. It's like, I don't know if she called it her juicy book. I don't know, you guys, but she sent it to me. See, there's a card in there for me. And I started using it as my own like little idea book and whatever, but I like the paper so much. I tear them out and use them. You have a bed in your craft room? You'll call your house a craft room? You have a bedroom in your craft. That's so good, Kathy. Hey, Barb, how are you? Aw. You've been watching Canada curling? Oh my gosh. A juicy book. That's exactly what she called it. So Tracy sent me this, and I have used it sparingly, but I love it, you guys. I've written in it. I've used it, started to use it as like my own like journaling experience, but guys, I just love it. And her channel is called Ginger Beach Studios. Oh, and there's a card from Barb. And then she wrote me a card in here. She made me this painting, you guys. I framed it in Maui, and I unframed it since it was for my birthday. Tracy. Yes, I love this book. That's her juicy book. Miss Tracy from Ginger Beach Studios. And I love it. I have like, how many of you guys have like so many things on your crafty wish list, like things you want to do, not necessarily things you want to buy, but things you want to do? That is me. I have that. And like, you know, when people say, I don't know what I want to do. My list is so long. You guys, if you go to her channel, I think she shows how she made it. Let me move my cards out of there. I think she showed how she made it. She made a bunch of them, but it was like so, guys, it's so good. And I covet it. I like, sometimes, do you ever just take out your stuff and pet it sometimes? Yeah, the pages are just amazing. I love it. And I don't know the brand of the book she made it in, but it's a good one. And it has like it's like an envelope back here. It has like a pocket, like a secret pocket. Dazzy wants to do paint pouring. Paint pouring is so fun. Miss Ann, I was just talking about your stellar craft room. It's amazing. Anyway, so she gave me this one year for my birthday. Guys, I didn't bring a lot with me from Hawaii, but I brought the things you guys sent me. I have boxes of it, and I'm grateful. Not that I ever expect anybody to send me anything, because I don't. You guys know me better to know that. But her little book, I just loved it. Her little juicy book. And I don't know, it makes me think of her. And I miss her. How many of you guys miss her? She's such a phenomenal crafter. I haven't seen her on in a while. I know she was moving and she had some other stuff she was doing, but she is a phenomenal crafter and she's so stinking creative. Her channel is called Ginger Beach Studios. And her name is Tracy. And she's awesome. She does some paint pours. Talk about wanting to paint pour. She made some, I have to tell you, some of the most phenomenal paint pours. How many of you guys saw Tracy's paint pours? They were just like, she made it look like it was easy. And it was great. She's so talented. Hi, Mary Kay. You pet your journals? You tried to make a juicy book and it just it might be a moleskin, Barb. I don't know. It might be. No, I don't know. I think if I went back and watched her video, she tells you what it is. You made a juicy book from moleskin notebooks just like that? Oh, yeah. Tracy was like, she was like on it. Don't you remember one year? I don't know. It was like Christmas in what, like 2015 or 2016? I can't remember. She made some of the most amazing paint pours and juicy books, and she was like on fire. She's like, and she made, you guys, she would just like, she would sit down and she would just go to town. She was like, she's a crafting queen. Deb and you're streaming on Sundays and yours is called Unfinished Business. Oh, that's awesome, Anne. Yeah, she made some juicy books. She was like, she's so good. Guys, I miss her. I should text her and see how she's doing. What time is your stream on Sundays, Ann? You got your calendar? You got it on your calendar? Well, I'm streaming this Sunday, you guys, to do my little sale at 4 o'clock. So I'm sorry if that interferes with your streaming, Ann. But I'm sure people are capable of watching two things at once because I certainly am. You're making a mini journal right now? Ginger BC. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, you guys go over and show Tracy some love. I miss her. She is so talented. If you guys have ever experienced her, she's amazing. And she's got this amazing accent. She's originally from Australia, although she lives, does she live in New Mexico or Arizona, you guys? So she is pretty awesome. And she's got the most soothing voice as well. And she's just a really amazing artist. And she does all kinds of really adventurous paint pours and drawings and journaling and portraits. She made me the most beautiful portrait. When I get it rehung up, I'll show it to you guys because I had it, my hottie stretched it and everything and I had it framed, but I rolled it up and brought it here. You're streaming at 5 p.m. Eastern? Oh, good, Anne. Anyway, so she's just really talented. She is such a talented person. So if you guys are interested, Elle put her channel, right? Put Tracy's channel in there. Go over and hang out and watch her. I don't think she's been on live in a few months, but you certainly have a ton of stuff. She has a lot of material that's amazing. So even though she may not be doing lives at this very moment, she's got lots of content that's really worth watching. She is one talented lady. Don't you love it? Like when you see somebody that has so much talent that they just inspire so many people. Like I think she's one of those kind of people. New Mexico, that's where she lives. Guys, there was a time when you could ask me something and I'd be like, I know it. Now, just forget it. Just forget it. I haven't even gotten myself into a place to do or remember. But soon. She was living in New Mexico through her prolific YouTube years. I think she's still living there. I did talk to her not that long ago. It's been months though. But I can't remember. She messaged me and we chatted for a few minutes. And she's just incredibly inspiring. So I think if any of you guys want to go over and get some like really fresh ideas, she's definitely one to get it from. I found this collage artist. You know how like sometimes they'll like refer people to you. They'll just be like, they'll send somebody to you, like they'll refer it to you in your YouTube suggestions. And I'll find her link in just a second and put it in here. I can't think of her name, but she's such a different collage artist. And I love her. It's like when you find it, you're like, wow. And she's so talented. I'll put her link in the channel in the box in just a second. Just can't think of her name. Guys, I'm terrible with names. I used to have like the kind of memory that like if somebody called on the phone, I knew exactly who they were when they said hello. Those days are gone. Those days are completely gone. Okay, let me see if I can find this artist. She is so good. Let me see. You know, do you ever like go on YouTube and you're trying to find somebody and then you can't find them? You're just like, where is it? They aren't there anymore. Let me see if I can find her in my history. Let's see. She's gonna find her in my subscriptions. And she doesn't have a really big channel. Gosh, I wish I could think of her name. If I can't, I will find her for the next time and put her in. And she only does collage. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Oh, look, Carla made a video. I didn't even get the notification for it. Cage Fish, she did a room tour, which is super awesome. It looks like she did it 8 hours ago. Right, where is this person? Why can't I find her? Don't you love it? Like when you're not looking, they always come up in your thing. And when you are looking, you can't find them at all. Oh man. Wish I could remember her name. I don't even remember the name of her channel. It always just pops up in my recommended views or what is her name? As in she does these crazy her collages are just so cool. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Let's see. And of course, when I'm looking, I can't find her, but of course, when I'm not gonna look, it'll be right there. And she has like just a few hundred subscribers, and she is like, I'm surprised she doesn't have more because she's so amazing. Where is it? Oh well, I guess I can't find it. All that I can find that's coming up right now is making jam, making jam, and um, grow and how to get rid of aphids in your garden. So can you tell what I've been focusing on? I haven't really focused on making jam, but one of my kids, when we were talking about making jam, and she said, "How do you make it without apple pectin?" And I was like, I don't know, because I think we've always all used apple pectin. How have you guys ever made jam without using apple pectin? I mean, I know there's ways to do it because they didn't always have apple pectin, but I was like, I honestly don't know. All right, I can't find her. When I find her, I'll let you know. She's like a really cool. I saw a video of hers not that long ago. Where was it? Oh, why doesn't it not come up? Maybe she hasn't made a video in a long time. How many of you guys are obsessed with people that live in vans or live in vans? I used to be obsessed with like the people that made the little houses and the van life thing. Not that I would ever do it because, like, you guys, my craft stuff would take up way more than a van would ever hold. My craft stuff would literally be like, would be too much. My craft stuff would be in the van. Me and my craft stuff could be in the van, but nobody would even be able to fit into the van because my craft stuff would take up too much space. Because I can't even find her in my history. My gosh, when did I watch her last? I thought it wasn't that long ago. Maybe it was. Guys, my days run into each other here. Well, I'll find her for Sunday and I'll put her in the chat on Sunday when I see you guys on Sunday. But she is a really amazing, unique collage artist, and I'm so inspired. She was, like, recommended in one of my recommends, but where is her? It's so frustrating because I can see, like, everything that I don't wanna see and nothing from her. Where I mean, and I know I thought I saw her at least last week, but maybe it wasn't, maybe it was the week before. I thought she made videos all the time, and sometimes I don't know. It's just so silly how they don't, like, you can't just, like oh, here, I found her. Okay, good. I didn't watch this collage video, but let me see. Okay, I did not watch this collage video. Her channel is called, and I don't know her personally, guys. Her name is Songbird Collage Arts. I haven't watched this collage video of hers, but she is cool. And I think you guys will all be inspired by her because we all like to collage. Okay, here you go. There you go. Her name is Songbird Collage Arts. And I think if you guys go check her out, you'd have to tow your craft fan behind. Oh my gosh. I think if you guys go check her out, you'll like her collage techniques. She uses the same kind of magazines we all do. And I guess it looks like she has a video maybe she has a video every week. So check her out and tell me what you guys think about her. I don't know her name personally, but I've watched a few of her videos and I think she's pretty inspiring. And her videos aren't very long. I think you guys might like her. You've been watching her too? She was referred to you too, Anne? Yeah, I like her work. I mean, I think it's so cool. And I'm inspired by her. I mean, who wouldn't be inspired? When you guys go watch her, you'll see. You'll be inspired too. You'll be like, wow, that is so inspiring. Okay, I had to cut out. So I'm only finished this many, and I have all these to finish. I have one more piece of juicy paper to put on here. Guys, I seriously need to find my glue sticks, okay? I seriously, like, who has as many glue sticks as I do and don't know where they are? Me. Blake has convinced me that I didn't leave them because I said, did I even bring them? Because I was so, like, toward the end of my time leaving Hawaii, I was so over it, you know? So for all I know, I could have manically thrown it away. You were thinking a tiny house in your backyard for your craft room? Mary Kay, if I could only keep it. Yeah, Barb, she's really good. I mean, I think she's really good. They're in that $1. Oh, go get some food. Bye, Dee. Love you, girl. You're eating late. You guys, we ate earlier. Blake and I ate. He drove our sweet girl to her sleepover. And I did some paperwork. And then, guys, I'm upset. How many of you guys watch, like, BritBox TV? I'm obsessed with their, like, British. I'm obsessed with their British dramas, their British spy shows or whatever. I'm obsessed with them. Completely and utterly obsessed. So I've been watching one. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I have a lot of hearts to make. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one needs a piece of paper. Okay, so I need like about 20, 25 hearts. Oh, I love you too, Beer. I didn't see it. I love you, girl. Thanks for, are you having fun? I see her now. She's Ava Harmon. She's coming incognito. No, so I gotta cut some. Are you and Ace having fun? Okay, I've got to find more fabric. So this is what you guys can do with all those fabric remnants you don't know. Make these like thank you cards. Oh, this is Ace's account? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you made a new one. Hi, Miss Ace. Hi, them Ace. We love you. Thanks for having Ava over. You are? You're having fun? Well, Buddha and Charlie are snoring. I can hear them. I guess my little craft room's right off my bedroom. And I guess my hottie was like going, yay, she's streaming. He's been moving stuff all day long. He's been trying to clean out our garage. And I told you guys that my mother-in-law, his mom, gave us all this furniture and stuff. And he's put a lot of it in the garage. And we've been moving it in because we neither one of us know what we have in there. And some of it is just so big. And we're not, some of it just won't fit in the house. It's not because we don't like it, but like rooms built in 1905 are not the same. They're not the same dimension as rooms built in a house that's bigger. So some of the furniture is just too big. So I said, let's let it go. And so he was moving furniture all day. Yeah, and he went shopping. Because he does all the things I hate. We bought some stuff at Sam's Club. They don't have, what is it called? Costco here. They do, but like 2 hours away. So he went to Sam's Club and he had bought some, it sounds so stupid, but he'd been there during the week and he bought some grapefruits. And when he went to eat one yesterday, now mind you, he just bought them like 2 days before. Half the bag was rotted. So he took those back. You guys, he's like the major take it back thing. I'm like not as brave as he is. And I think they count on shoppers more like me who won't like take it back. But he took it back. He's taking back the grapefruits. He took back the broccoli. The broccoli and the grapefruits. The frozen broccoli was the worst I've ever had. And he was like, took it back. He's like, it was too expensive not to take it back. He did that today. He did all these things that I would not do. Okay. He was like, hi, sweet Ace. Hi, sweet Ava. You like Sam's better than Costco? Well, in Maui, the Costco, we don't have Sam's. The Costco was really good. We have a Costco like 2 hours away from here. And so we still have the membership to Costco, but you can order stuff and have it delivered, but we haven't done that yet. He was talking about that today because there are some things that we buy from them that they just don't have at Sam's Club. But he was like so upset over the he was so upset over the grapefruits. He was like looking forward to these grapefruits. He was very upset. He took it personally. He took it super personally that the grapefruits were so bad. I was like, oh, brother. Like so silly. You guys, the supermarkets here are actually really good. It's hard in Hawaii because the supermarkets in Hawaii, I mean, you might run to like the Foodland for something right in that moment, but you wouldn't do your whole big shopping there because it's like crazy. And Safeway is just outlandish, in Hawaii. I'm not saying where you guys are. They just spike everything up, We used to call it the Maui gouge. And so you'd only shop like you'd get your fresh, you might get poke at Foodland, raw fish, your poke. It was really good at Foodland. And you might get like, I don't know, little things that you needed at Foodland or little things that you needed at Safeway, but you wouldn't do your major shopping because it was just outlandishly expensive. So there's things that we liked from Costco, but he even complains about that because he would say they would do the bait and switch on you. They'd finally get you like a product and you'd buy it for even like up to a year and then they would stop carrying it. So he was always disappointed. So what are them's doing? Ava and Ace, what are you guys doing? Just hanging out, laughing? Hanging out and laughing is like so good. I gotta sew all my hearts. So let's see, what else am I working on? But what else is on my crafty to-do list? My crafty with enthusiasm list. I've got like probably couple of dozen junk journals that I've started, haven't finished. The 2 quilts I told you about, you guys, about a couple days ago. I'm going to work on those. The Granny Square project, I would really like to do that. Well, I don't know how long that is going to take me. I've been working on this faith journaling project, so I may share that with you guys soon. What are some of the other things that I have on my list that I'm like, I really want to do this year? I told you guys about the Christmas tree skirts that I want to make. That I'm going to do. You're saving on groceries, but not on gas. Yeah, I talked to one of my friends today, at least on Maui, said it was close to $6 a gallon. So I don't miss that, Val. Do you? Might be cheaper on Oahu. But he said it was like 5 something. And I was like, whoa, that is pricey. Yeah, it was like $4.10 here. You know, we almost didn't bring our Prius with us, but we did because we were like, oh, we couldn't get another car. And it was just like a lot of things. And now we're really glad we brought it with us. It definitely saves us a lot on gas. These scissors are big. Jen, don't you know me by now? If Liz, tell Jennifer what my problem is. Tell her what it is. That looks like angel wings. Tell her what my problem is, Liz. Where's Liz? I don't know where my small scissors are, Jen. If I knew, I would use them. These are quite big, but you know what? I think from my years as a costume designer, you use big scissors to cut out patterns and stuff. I guess that's just how, and I just cut everything with big scissors. And I do have little ones. One of you guys sent me a whole bunch of them, and I was using them. I just don't know where they are. You guys, I have so many scissors. We are definitely the house of scissors here, or at least I have scissors. But ask me where they are. I was looking for some of them the other day. We were laughing because of how many scissors I have. I don't know where they are. Yeah, fussing cutting with head shears. You know what? Hey, Liz, we all have our own secret talents, okay? My talent is fussy cutting with head shears, okay? We all have our talent. So when you guys ever go back and watch any of my videos and you see me go, yes, Liz, I am using big scissors. This is the Liz right here in the chat. Okay. She always, Liz, were you the one that sent me all those little scissors? Somebody sent me, you guys. This is how bad it was. Somebody sent me there was a lot of big scissors a lot of little scissors. They sent me it was something like, it was, I want to say it was like 20 pairs of little scissors. 20 pairs of little tiny fussy cutting scissors somebody sent me. What do you guys send me? My scissors and the glue sticks are in the same box. You're probably right, Mary Kay. Northern Colorado, $3.79 and $4.99. Oh. Yes, Miss Fussy Cutting with Head Shears. That's me. I do fussy cut with head shears, okay? Jamie says I should use the negative space for my hearts too. They're just not so good because they're not like, this one might be good. This one looks better. That one doesn't look bad. Some of them are like this though, Jamie. Like, look, they're like, because I was trying to get as many hearts as I could out of it, but I will go back and use them. I won't waste them. Yeah, fussy cutting with head shears. You guys, I don't know why. I think that's the only thing is I think because I used to cut out big patterns all the time, I honestly think that's what it is. I really do. I really truly do. That one needs a piece of fabric. I mean, it needs a piece of paper. I'll put these over here. I don't know. I love it when I watch people like cut out really intricate things with X-Acto knives. That's my hottie. He does that. He cuts out these things sometimes. He was making some drawings or something, and he cut out like, I don't know, these little tiny things, and they were like so detailed with these, like with his X-Acto knife. I was like thinking, yeah, I would have cut my finger off by the time I finished. He just cut like, he just used it and it was like totally perfect. I would have cut my finger off. That's me. Hey, Riri. You have one pair in every room? Oh, girl, please. One pair in every room. You guys, I don't even, my house is not anywhere near organized. It is like, oh, it's just, yeah. It's like we're going through boxes and unpacking stuff, and we go, do we want to keep it? Do we not want to keep it? And it's just, yeah. We are not, it is not in any way, shape, or form organized. And Joni, you asked me earlier, you asked me why I had, or you asked me why I had a house sitter in one of the videos. Because you guys, when we bought this house, it took us a really long time to close on it because the house had, anyway, the house had a whole plethora of things that needed to be dealt with. And we did it one by one, but because of like the housing market and how crazy it was and what have you. And we closed on the house way before we were ready to move. And I actually thought we would stay in Hawaii for a whole nother year. Like I thought we would let Sage finish out at least her freshman year in high school there. And so initially I thought we would rent the house out while we were letting her finish her school year or whatever. But by the time we closed and did all the things on the house and everything, like, so the house needed, like, it needed things that it had things that needed to be done before we could, like, if we were going to rent it out, say for a year, he would have had to have stayed and done those things that needed to be done. And it just became like, and then the rents in Hawaii, our rent went from like crazy exorbitant to like insanely exorbitant. Like they raised our rent. They didn't double it, but they raised our rent by 50%. Like, and Hawaii doesn't have rental laws that are very, Hawaii doesn't have rental laws that for the tenant, there's no like rent stabilization. There's no real renter's rights there. So because of all of that, we just decided okay. I love you, girl. I'll be ready for it. So what happened was, are you taking my drink for good? I'm bringing you back a new one. Oh, you are? Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you. No, so you know how things you think you'll work it out, like Elle saying she's going to be out of her house by May and they'll be like selling it no matter who buys it. Well, for us, we thought, okay, we were buying this house. I was buying it primarily as an investment. And then we thought, well, we will let Sage finish her freshman year of school. And then we would talk about moving. And then our landlord like raised our rent. Like it was so much. It was like, and there was no There's no warning. Like the rules in Hawaii are they can give you 30 days notice and they can raise your rent to whatever. So basically we were already paying this crazy high rent and then some things happened at her school that were kind of not cool. Like there was a lot more fights and people bringing weapons to school, and she came home one day and she was like, it's dangerous there. And so we were so we were both like, okay, that's all we need. You know what I mean? It's like your kids come first. It doesn't matter. Rent, no rent, whatever it is. Um, continuity, whatever. And so we were just like, okay, the moment she said she didn't feel safe at school, we were like, okay, we're out of here. There was no need to discuss anything any further. So because we had originally planned on buying the house, renting it out, and then looking at our options, like saying May or June, or because school in Hawaii gets out in May. But she came home and was like, and it was getting really bad. Not just that, but just all kinds of stuff. Because when you live on an island, think about it. It's like being shut in a small room with a whole lot of people for a long time. And, I know that we all went through a lot during the pandemic, but live in a very small, isolated island that solely depends upon tourism. And then that tourism is completely gone and people's livelihoods are gone. Kids are coming to school feeling like the pressures of their family and of what's going on in their lives. And, it's like a vicious cycle. So we were like, okay, especially when our landlord was like, first of all, not willing to even work with us. It wasn't like, there's times when the economy in Hawaii is so amazing that you could afford to pay that if somebody came to you and said, hey, you know what, we're going to raise your rent 50% and your rent is already crazy. You might go, okay, it might be worth it, because you'd sit down and go, well, I make XYZ amount of money and it would be really, do you get my point? Like you'd be like, okay, well, I make enough money and that's not that big of a deal and it'll be fine. Well, it wasn't that way with the pandemic. It was like everybody was struggling. Nobody had any real job security. Places that had been around for 30 years were going out of business. People that were born and raised on this island were like leaving because the economy. A lot of people moved off. It's primarily a service-driven economy there. So that all being said, when we were a little bit still unsure of whether we were going to come right away or not, or whether we were going to, our original plan was to do some work on the house and have somebody live in it for a year before we moved. But the closing didn't happen. The closing I can't even tell you how long it took. It took a really long time. We found a house sitter because he had just put in all of this. Basically, we just bought this house and then he went and got all of this furniture that he was going to put that was in the garage, and some of it was in the house. And then he was coming back to Hawaii and we didn't know how long. At that point, I don't know if we'd even worked out what we were doing. So I said to him, I don't think it's a good idea that we buy a house. They just see you move a bunch of stuff in and leave a truck here. He had to buy a truck, you guys. We couldn't even rent one. That was the other thing. We got all this furniture from his family, which I'm grateful for because some of it's weird, but whatever. I didn't have to buy it and it'll save us money for right now. He had to buy a truck. He couldn't even rent a truck. That's how crazy it was. It was like he couldn't even rent a truck to move stuff. We couldn't even hire a moving company. He had to do it all himself. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And so it was like one of those things where at the spur of the moment, this person that he's working with there was another person working there, and she was the person that, we didn't know anybody here really, and she was the one that was house sitting. So it turned out to be a very long, what should have been a very, if he'd come to Hawaii, we had talked everything over. He came back and did the work on the house and we rented it out for a year, which was what our original plan was. But that isn't how it happened. You know, it seems like whatever your plans are, they don't quite always work out that way. So she ended up house sitting for us for almost 5 months. Yeah. Or she house sat for us for like 4 months and then we got here. So that's what it was. It was kind of a long roundabout thing. Jamie put in a link for the necklace scissors. Every crafter needs those. You would wear them around your neck so you wouldn't lose them. Yeah, I'm making little thank you cards. I'm making like, here, these are done. And then I'll write on the back of them. See, like this? They're just like a little handmade. They're little Rolodex cards. And then I'll just write thank you note on the back of them. So if I had found index cards, I would have used that. But I didn't have them. So that was my story, Joni. You just like small scissors. Jamie sent me the link to him too. So that's what it was. That was our whole house sitting saga. Or it shouldn't have been. But thank you for sending me the link. Yeah, then I'm going to sew those. How many of you guys went over and watched Barb today? She was great, right? How to Get Creative with Barb Owen. She was awesome. I always love hanging out with Barb anyway, but I was chatting early on, and then, guys, if you saw the mess that I have, you'd be like, Shelley, what are you doing? What are you doing making thank you cards? You'd be like, get to it. So I have piles of to wash things. I have piles of to let go of things. I have piles of what do I do with these things? That's what I got going on, girls. Yeah, I love Barb. She's so awesome. You know, I think she was one of the very first people I watched on YouTube. Really was like a YouTube novice. And I had gotten laid off from my job. Got laid off from a job that I can't even tell you how stressful it was. A real super stressful job, which wasn't a bad thing. But and I found myself at home, and I don't even know what I was making at the time. I've been quilting or something, and then turned on YouTube, and there was Barb, and I was like, oh, I like her. That was history. That was what feels like eons ago, even though it was not. It was only like probably in 2015. Right? You love Barb too? So she's super awesome. Our Barb Owen. So I've got all these. Not only just have to do sew them, put them through the sewing machine, and then hand write them. Yeah, she's super awesome. So who did I watch after Barb Owen? Maybe it was Stacy Pink Poodle Crafter, which I loved Stacy Evans too. And then I watched Dee Dee Willingham, but I didn't really watch her on there. I watched her on Ustream. And so I watched, that was super good. And who else did I watch? Who were some of my early people that I watched? Oh, Crafty Irina. I love Crafty Irina. I don't even know. Is she making videos anymore? Does anybody know? I used to watch her. I can't remember all the people that I watched, but Barb, I think, was the first one. I don't know Tracy, or maybe I do. Is her channel named that, or is it something else, Mary Kay? So I just got to find some threads so that I can sew these things. Hey, Laura. You love Barb? Yeah, she was one of the first crafting creators you watched too. Oh, I miss seeing her too. Well, she was on today, and she's been trying to come on every Friday. But you guys, I don't know. Grief is so very personal that I so commend her for coming back. For those of you that don't know, she lost her husband in December, and it has been, I can't even imagine what she's going through because she was married a very long time. And so she's like, she's trying. She was, I think she did last Friday and this Friday. Today, but I don't know about the Fridays before. I think she did a couple of them, but not, maybe she did the one before that. But I mean, I totally get it's just so hard, I don't know. Grief is so personal, and sometimes I think people can be so insensitive because they don't, I don't know. It's like you don't know how long it's going to, until you go through it, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get through it. And that's not the same for everybody. Yeah, she's been coming on Fridays. It's been good. Ah, you're so sweet. I was the first. Oh Lord, Jamie, I feel bad. I was such an inexperienced crafting live person. It was my older daughter's fault. I was like frustrated. I had gotten this camera. And I was trying to make a video, and and I had promised this girl that I was at the time was, she had a Facebook group. She started a Facebook group, and she had asked me to make some videos. So I have been trying to, and I was just having so much time. And my daughter was like, "Why don't you just go live?" And I go, "Well, how do you do that?" And the next thing you know, I was live streaming. I was like so shocked, and people showed up. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Your first one was Crafting Vicky. Oh, I love Crafting Vicky. I do like Mr. Victor Crafter. I haven't seen Crafting Vicky in a while, but I love her. And I love Michelle Scott. If you guys haven't subscribed to her channel, you should. You'll love her. Yes, grief comes in waves. Yeah, I agree with you. And it even comes years later. Oh, yes, I agree with you. I so agree with you, Val. So I get it. I so get it. Yep. And you never know. Like, you could be having a perfectly good day, and then something just hit you, and then you're done. I completely understand. Well, now there's so many people that I love on YouTube, and I don't get to watch it all as much as I would like, but I love Meridel Abrams and Mary Attier. There's just a lot of very creative people that I feel totally inspired by. I mean, I'm nowhere near the caliber of artists they are, but I love their work, and I always feel like this community is so supportive. Oh, there's you guys, who is the girl that she does like all those painted, oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. I hate that. She has lots of glue books, and she does all those painted composition books. Cecilia, is that her name? Even more so when you never get your why. I totally get it. You like live streaming, but you need to take Mary Kay out of your channel name? Why? Yes, I agree with you. Liz says years later, you can be walking through a store and a tsunami of grief will just take you to your knees. Oh, I agree 100%. Grief is so difficult. I mean, it's so subjective and personal, and we don't all grieve the same way, I think I like these little thank you cards. So whoever gets them, I appreciate you, and I'll try to get a little bit more crafty with it. Why do you need to take Mary Kay out of your why do you have to take that out of your channel name? Do you guys know who I mean by Cecilia? Let me see if I can find her channel. Oh, because makeup ladies. Oh, duh, Mary Kay. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Do you guys know who I mean? Is her name Cecilia? She is like the most amazing glue booker. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Do you guys know who I mean? Why can't I find people? I hate that. Let's see if I can find her. She is amazing. Talk about a glue book like, oh yes, Cecilia's art. Okay, you guys have to see her. If you don't know her, and I didn't know her for a long time, but let me see if I can find, let's see if I can get her channel. She makes, talk about some glue booking and talk about like, she's like amazing. She's a fabulous glue booker. Yeah, you know what, Mary Kay, I'm so dumb. I didn't even think about the makeup thing. You know, she's a fabulous glue booker. I don't know her personally, but I can tell you if you go over and look at her channel, you'll totally be inspired. Okay, she's not the same person I was thinking of. Who is the one that used to do she does like she just does all these like painting techniques on composition books. You guys, who is that? You know who I mean. She is freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember? I'm like not good. I used to like know everybody or like I'd be like, oh, I remember that like off the top of my head. Haven't seen her in a while. And I don't even know if she's making videos anymore. I'll try to find her if I can't. She takes these like collage books. I mean, she takes these composition books and I mean, they're like, I can't even tell you. They're amazing. And she uses stencils. I mean, they become like, they are like a freaking work of art. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Why can I not remember? And she used to come up in my suggesteds or whatever all the time too. And I haven't seen her in a while. That doesn't mean she's not making videos. It's just, I think if you don't go and watch somebody for a while, um, oh my gosh, who is this? You guys know her. She's so good. I'm not gonna remember. Why can't I remember? Anyway, I'll try to remember it. Yes, Paula. Yes. Hi, Shaz. Hi, Penny. Yes, Paula, Journal Artista, Paula. Yes, yes, yes. Has she been on in a while? I haven't seen is Liz Drake back on for a while? She took her channel off. She got scammed by somebody or something. I can't remember the whole story, but she took her channel off for a while. So is Journal Artista, is she making videos and I just haven't I haven't been on enough to see her? She's fabulous, you guys have to if you haven't seen her, she takes a composition book and she makes it like guys, I can't even tell you. It's amazing. She she is gifted. Hey, Laura, how are you, girl? Okay, there's Journal Artista. Go and watch some of her videos. It looks like she hasn't streamed in a year, so I haven't missed any of her streaming. Hey, singing, how are you? Paula is so talented, though, you guys. She is all the more reasons we should go and support her. If she's having some mental health issues, you know, we should all go and show her some love and watch some of her videos and tell her that she's inspiring. Because I think that can really put you in a I think that can put you into a better space. Okay, so I only finished a handful because I have to go find bobbin thread, you guys. It's like I'm not organized enough, but I did finish a handful. So for any of you that buy anything from my Etsy shop or from my sale on Sunday, if you come around, this will be in your, I'll write a little thank you note to you on the back of my little Rolodex thank you cards that have fabric and Tracy's Juicy Pages and some really old newspaper sewed onto it. And, you know, I think have a cup of tea. I'm having electrolyte drink, but you know, I think that we all have when we all go through struggles, however we choose to label them, you know, mental or emotional or physical, just having the support of people that you've encouraged is like so priceless. You know, especially oh, thanks, Shaz. Especially for an artist, right? So please go over. I had no idea she was having some sort of health issues, but you know we're not defined by that, and that's not totally who we are. So if everybody went over, just think about it. If everybody in our chat right now, if all 24 people in this chat at this moment, and thanks for the thumbs up, went over and just watched one of her videos and just said, "Hey, that was really encouraging. Hope you're looking forward to seeing you again." Or, "Hey, that was awesome. I learned a lot." Or, "I used your technique." Or, you know, "Thanks for making my day better." I know, like, when I was in the throes of, like, working, like, all my jobs and never having a moment to do YouTube or have a moment to sit down and art, one of you guys would always send me a message or somebody would write, "Oh, thanks for doing that," or "I had fun," or or "I laughed so hard," or "Go back and listen to hour 1, minute 14." You know, it was, you know, because sometimes we would get into such crazy things of laughter, you know, it's just uplifting. Oh, Laura, when you go watch her, she is so and I don't know her personally or anything. Of course, I probably came to her late in the game, but you know, she is so talented. She's just really talented. Everybody else doing good? Oh, I loved her, right? She's so talented. She takes a composition book and she makes it a work of art. I mean, if you watch her, she puts down wet paint, wet medium. She she can make that composition book like phenomenal. She can work a composition book. I am like, mm-hmm. And when you watch her though, Penny, you'll be like, oh my gosh, she puts layers and layers and wet and water and dripping and painting and she's just and stenciling and we're talking, hey Brenda, we're talking about Journal Artista, Paula. She is, but when you go watch her, you'll be like, "Oh, man." She'll get you so inspired with her stenciling and painting and spraying on these composition books, and they're just like the 50-cent composition books. I don't think she even uses I don't think she even uses, I don't think she uses any. You guys, does she use any, I mean, I know she uses stencils and stuff, but she doesn't. I don't even know if she let and she works on multiples at one time. That's the other thing. Like, she's got it down, but I don't think I've ever seen her work in anything other than a composition book. Has she? You guys, has she worked in anything? I mean, I don't know what made me think about her. I guess because I have this stack of composition books next to me. You know what I mean, Vern? She does use a jelly plate and stencils, but I've never seen her. Does she only doing here? This is her channel. This is one of her videos. I don't think I've ever seen her work in anything but a composition book, though. Has she? Oh, I love Linda Israel too. She worked in coloring books, Laura says, and on the jelly plate. She coined the phrase crusty bits. Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, I haven't seen her in a while. So I gave you guys my latest picks. I gave you Cecilia, I gave you the collage person, and I gave you those are my although I haven't watched Journal Artista in a long time. I used to love watching her. But I haven't watched Cecilia in a while, but go watch her. If you guys are into glue booking, you have to go watch her. She is I put her in the chat. What did I tell you her name is? Cecilia. You guys, I'm terrible. I think it's Cecilia's art. Like, why? I can't remember. And our friend Tracy at Ginger Beach Studios. She's pretty freaking awesome. So, yep. Those are my picks. And the collage person, who I don't know her name. Does anybody know the collage person's name? Does anybody know the collage person's name? What did I tell you her name was? Okay, Cecilia's art. She's awesome. I haven't watched her in a long time either, but she's really awesome. And let me find that's Cecilia. And let me see. The other person was a person and our friend Tracy from Ginger Beach Studios, but the other person was somebody that I don't really know that well. But I watched her and she was just so, and her name is, what's the name of her channel? Her channel is called Songbird Collage. Songbird Collage Arts. I don't know her first name. But I like her work, and I think you guys would too. And Songbird only has like 300 subscribers, and she's super awesome. I mean, she is super awesome. Those are just some people that I've been, like we talk about like who inspires you or if you like come up and you're like, what comes up in your recommended or who do you find who do you get inspiration from? Yeah, I think there's all kinds and of course there's all the people that we know that we get inspiration from, like our lovely Shannon Green and Kat. Oh my gosh. What's Kat's channel? You know what I mean. where she does her morsels, her mixed media morsels. Like she's super, yeah, cat hand. I'm always, I mean, we have like our regular favorites, but then sometimes there's other favorites that we don't know. Hey, Lucinda, how are you, girl? So my hottie came in and drank my electrolyte drink and then made me another one. Love that. So I've got to find some bobbin thread and then I'll sew the rest of my cards. And tomorrow's my day of organizing. So Sunday, I don't know how long my sale will be, but I'll tell you what I have. I have wallpaper books, cutter quilts. I have some really old 1930s music magazines, which are pretty cool. All kinds of like fabric. I told you guys I went to that lady's house and she was letting go of all this sort of old vintagey fabric. So I've got all kinds of fabric and trims and laces and a lot of just ridiculousness, but that's what I have. So what are you working on, Miss Shaz? What have you been working on? What are you girls making? And don't forget, for those of you that the Disabled Artists Foundation has their monthly auction tomorrow at noon. The Buck and a Quarter store has a Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit book. Ooh, nice. Hey, Amberly, how are you, girl? I didn't see you. How are you? How are your babies? You're collaging and learning to collage? Hey, I think it's a lifelong lesson. I'm looking forward to the auction too tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Disabled Artists Foundation auction. You guys, they have some good deals. I think it's a lot of embellishments and some beautiful journals. And they always have a nice mix of, between materials and finished product. It's always good. You're flying in the journal that you got from Defy. Oh, Leslie, I loved making that journal. It had so many weird things in it. You're gluing in it. Oh, good girl. It had some weird stuff in it, huh? Some really old stuff. I loved making it. You're doing neuro art. Looks interesting. Oh, good. Yeah, Lucinda was doing neuro art. You're catching up on editing photos. Aw. Night, Jamie. I love you, girl. I love that journal too. You're teaching an abstract painting class? Oh, nice, Amberly. Sleep well, Jamie. We love you. Lucinda did some neuro art. She sent me a picture of it. It's beautiful. All right, my lovelies, I love you. I will see you tomorrow at the Disabled Artists Foundation auction at noon. If you guys come up, and that's on Care Heart's channel, and I'll put it in let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the description box. It's from noon to 5. And for those of you that want to purge some of your art supplies, they take donations of that too. And if you're interested, you can contact Care and she'll tell you how to get her some supplies or get her the supplies to then give away. Oh, girl, it's all good. We're happy you're here. There's Cares, and that's tomorrow at noon. And then Sunday, I'll be on at 4 and selling a few of my wares. Oh, love you, Liz. Love you, Leslie. Love you, Shaz, Mary Kay, Jamie. And I'll be on at 4 and come and collect some of my treasures. And then I plan on trying to start streaming on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. I don't know exactly what time. I think I'm going to do my 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and Fridays like I have. Sundays, I might come on earlier in the day. I don't know. It may not be long streams. I haven't quite figured it all out yet, trying to work it all out, but I'm around. I love you, girls. Thanks for being my peeps. Thanks for always being around. Thanks for waiting out, hanging out with me, during my silly times. And I love you all. You're always in my heart. And I will see you guys tomorrow and on Sunday. All right. Love you guys. Take good care of yourselves. Big hugs. Bye for now.